The following footage is footage I captured from the E3 Friday the 13th gameplay livestream that I caught a little bit of last night. Seriously, this is the Friday the 13th video game livestream. Game I was quite looking forward to.
Or we could put. Oh no!
Has anyone tested?
Is that Rice Krispies? Oatmeal for your feet.
What happened?
It's oatmeal for your feet.
That's Rice Krispies.
I want to thank you guys for coming out here and making this game for us. But we've got a premiere too.
What is it?
Well, this has never been seen before on Twitch/Twitch. We're on Twitch, right? This has never been seen. This is Wilford Brimley and Friday the 13th. So here you go.
Let's see it.
He fights. Yeah, no, this is real. This is actually a real thing. You guys probably didn't know this. You guys probably thought you knew everything about Friday the 13th. But you didn't know Wilford Brimley was in Friday the 13th on Nintendo, did you? Well, so show this shit.
Let's see.
Show it. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. You see? Here it comes. Wait for it. And then you're a patient and you're fighting diabetes because we still. Look, there's
What are you doing with your ear?
I have this goddamn thing in my ear that's making me crazy.
Oh, big shout out to all our F-13 fans.
Hey, Friday, 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 Friday. That's the way. Friday.
I got wet feet.
13th. Friday the 13th.
I got one between my toes. Don't worry.
It's got a front.
Thirsty? There you go, John.
It's a little bit like your feet. If
I took a shower before I came, thankfully.
That's
for you.
good.
Wow.
Tastes like feet, French fries, and oatmeal.
It's E3 week. It's the Super Bowl of video games. If the Super Bowl was designed to inherently disappoint you 6 months down the line, it's time for fun, frolics and cheer, which means I'm not bringing my A game this week. Why would I? It's just getting swallowed up in the sea of E3 madness, which is fine. Fine, because my B game is better than any game journalist's A game. So you're still guaranteed a fucking good time. Let's get on with things, shall we? It's actually about E3, which is thematic, I suppose. Just watch it. Watch it. Tell me you like it. It's E3 week as the Electronic Entertainment Expo takes over the LA Convention Center in a gaudy tribute to expense, excess, and generous portions of good old-fashioned hype. With worldwide live-streamed press conferences, hands-on impressions from excited game journalists, and tons of news about upcoming games, there'll be loads to look at and get giddy over. For many of us, it's a week to remember how fun games can be, how we can forget all the problems that plague the industry and just, well, enjoy a good show. For others among us, myself included, it's a time to spend an entire week being sarcastic, smug, smarmy, and cynical about every little thing. It's a time to watch each press conference from the likes of EA, Ubisoft, Sony, and Microsoft, and make fun of awkward old white men trying to be cool, to guess which trailers we're seeing are visually dishonest and primed for a downgrade before launch. It's basically a week where hundreds of jaded, miserable pricks gather on Twitter and see who can be the most jaded, miserable prick of them all. And that, friends, is my favourite part of E3. However, just like everything I love in this world, there's pushback from more open-minded, generally nicer people. People perhaps too naive or maybe just genuinely optimistic who have each year gotten more vocal in their backlash toward the cynicism that drips over social media during the E3 press conferences. I see it every year with more frequency. While I'm desperately typing out my latest barbs and insults for the attention and validation I so desperately crave, there'll be a bunch of do-gooders in my feed churning out such retorts as, "Can we not just be happy for once?" Or, "God, I hate this negativity. Remember when games were about having fun?" And you know what? Fuck off. It's my E3 and I'll whine if I want to. For me, there's something magical about the mass cynicism that erupts on Twitter when E3 press conferences roll around. There are genuine moments of excitement when big things happen, even from the most pissy of us, but for most of it, watching these hype mongers on stage spewing a load of corporate shit is made far more entertaining when you're part of what is essentially a gigantic real-time riff tracks. It's a shared event where a bunch of us all come together from all corners of video game commentary and have a laugh at this gauche industry's expense. I get it. Some of you are tired of all the complaints and people not having enough fun for your liking. But guess what? I'm sick of the years of dishonesty, contempt and complacency that the self-satisfied recidivists on stage have peddled in front of us and expected us to be grateful for. Sure, I could act all happy and grateful about it, but fuck that. This is the AAA game industry at its most tacky. It doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt. It hasn't earned my optimism or my inane delight at every morsel of untrustworthy bollocks being served up on a silver spoon. This idea we should forget the very nature of this industry for 1 week just to be positive and have fun is ridiculous, and exactly what corporate shit munchers bank on as they deliver yet another overhyped, undelivering game to a crowd of whooping and cheering journalists. I see your backlash about the yearly social media cynicism, and I raise you a lashing back at the backlash in the most backiest of lashing terms. You know, it frankly makes me cringe whenever I see people swallowing the whole dog and pony show hook, line and sinker, not just uncritically happy about everything, but downright fucking grateful for it. But you won't see me making passive-aggressive remarks about it on Twitter. That's your E3. You do you. Make merry. Get excited. Buy into the hype and promises without thinking of the inevitable disappointment later. You enjoy E3 the way you want, and I will absolutely support you in that. But do me a favour in return, shut the fuck up about the way other people are reacting to E3 just because they're not as full of wide-eyed hope as you are. Because there's that phrase I see all the time, the one I mentioned earlier, the one every would-be philosopher trots out during press conferences when their feed isn't being happy enough for them. Remember when games used to be about having fun? Well, consider this, my rose-tinted friend. Consider that for those of us indulging our dolorous skepticism on social media, what we're doing is having fun. We are enjoying ourselves in our own entertainingly gloomy way. It's fun to snark. It's fun to carp, to gripe, to moan, to poke fun, pick holes, and pile petty poo-poos onto all and sundry. It's fun. And it's required, because this industry, blowing smoke up its own arse, puffing its chest and trying so pathetically, cringingly hard to appear cool and with it, utterly deserves a good gaggle of us laughing at the whole slimy circus, to point at the Emperor and highlight its lack of clothes, to keep us a little bit grounded as executives urge us to pre-order the products we're shown on the back of vague promises and trailer footage of dubious veracity. And as I say that, don't be tempted to think I'm labouring under a false sense of importance. To snark on Twitter or Facebook is fun and the industry deserves it, but I think we can be honest enough to acknowledge what we're primarily doing is showboating, grandstanding, trying to impress the internet with our oh-so-witty put-downs and biting barbs. We're all looking to be retweeted and liked, and we're seeking as much attention off the back of this bullshit as possible, because we're vain, and we're cloying, and we'll tear down a billion-dollar industry to try and raise our own fleeting, inconsequential social stock in a meaningless void of online noise. And you know what? I'm good with that. Because I'm having a fucking laugh. With regards to the Friday the 13th game, I backed it on Kickstarter, full disclosure. I do feel a little bit bad because the trailer was actually put up on YouTube after that fucking live stream, whatever it was, and it does look actually rather legit. It's in pre-alpha, but I watched it and it looks fun. You playing as Jason, boom, boom, boom. That looks like a laugh, so I'm into it. I just didn't want to suggest that that live stream is going to inherently reflect the quality of the game. Well, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? Also, I've still got this massive thing. I've had it since I last used it for a goof on here. It's just been behind the podium ever since. I have to look out the mask hole. It's too big. It's too big. Thank God for someone who could shrink this down. And more importantly, of course, thank God for me. alongside many of you, I heard the news yesterday that there'd been another shooting in America, another mass shooting. There's been over 900 since Sandy Hook, and this one had come out and been particularly devastating. In Orlando, at least the last time I saw the news, I've not seen anything this morning. I just sort of got up and got this stuff recorded. 50 people had been killed in Orlando at a gay club. Just a hateful, spiteful, evil act. And I don't really have the words for it. It's one of those things where you know you should say something. You feel you should share support. But there's nothing you can say that's right, that's good. There are people out there discussing, as they always discuss, what must be done. I'm not going to do that myself because there are better people than me having those discussions. Of course, there are worse people than me having those discussions as well, but I just wanted to address it and just say fuck. I'm sorry and confused and scared. It's scary. I mean, it's always scary, the idea of this kind of mass shooting. No matter how many times it happens, people joke about how it gets more banal the more they happen. But it's always scary. And this one, as a fairly openly queer video game commenter, who gets a lot of abuse for it, gets called a degenerate, has their life threatened, etc. This one, of course, has been extra unsettling for some of us. That is not to say the other ones aren't just as horrific and terrible. But for a few of us, this one just hit a little closer to home, as one in someone's local town would hit closer to home on, something that was against their particular demographic, their particular background, their racial background, their religious background, would hit just that tiniest bit closer to home. But I don't have the actual words for it. I just wanted to put this after the credits of the show because it didn't feel appropriate to have it sandwiched in or at the intro or at the outro, especially because we're talking about fucking E3 of all things. Big props to Bethesda, by the way, for the ribbon. Small but subtle gesture, which I probably should have done myself rather than just stand here and ramble and everything, but it's what I have at the time. I've got my voice, and that's that. So, yeah. Fuck. That's... I've got nothing, as I say, I don't have the right words, I don't have a good thing to say, some memorable quote or what have you. I've just got... Fuck.